So cybercrime costs the global economy 10.4 trillion every single year. That's more than the GDP of some of the largest countries in the world. The problem isn't the attacks themselves, it's that the cybersecurity data is nearly impossible for most people to understand. It's full of technical jargon, it's disconnected from real consequences, and buried in raw numbers. Our goal was to fix that and make cyber attacks more explorable and understandable for everyone. So we used two different data sets. The first one has over 14,000 attack records with 16 attributes such as the attack types, tools, targets used, and the objectives. The second one is a real-world breach impact data set from 2021 to 2025, and it covers 850 attacks across 38 countries with the attributes such as financial loss, the recovery timelines, downtime, and company level impact. When you join them together, they let us trace an attack from the moment that it happens to its final financial consequence. So we use the drill down structure. We guide the users from a broad global overview into a progressively deeper detail. We answer 4 different questions in order. Where are the attacks happening and how bad is the damage? So that's the heat map. What methods and tools are being used? That's the bar chart. And what are the attackers trying to achieve? That's the Sankey diagram. And what does it cost different industries and companies? So that's the bubble chart. The heat map is our hook. It establishes the worldwide scale of the problem right away, and it also pulls the viewer in. Each visualization hands off to the next and builds one continuous story. So here let's start off with our hook, which is the heat map. At the bottom we have an overview of how many countries there are, how many attacks. We have the data on total financial loss, and here we have a key showing you the total financial loss. So if you were to click on a country like United States, we see that there's 298 incidents and 8.6 billion in financial loss. But if you were to click on a country like United Kingdom, you would see that there's only 90 incidents reported and $6.9 billion in the financial loss. So that's half the incidents, almost the same financial damage. So this means that the UK is not getting attacked more frequently, it's just getting hit harder by more higher value attacks. So you can click on any country to get a preview, and then if you'll notice, countries like US and 26 other countries have ransomware as the most common attack vector, while countries like India have phishing as the most common attack vector. So this means that different economies are being targeted in fundamentally different ways. So now let's go to the type and pathways. So here we can see the top 20 most common attack types. So it's being led by hardware interface exploitation with 161 attacks, and followed by wireless attacks with 95. You can click more on it to drill down, and we see the most common tool used. So it not only tells you the most common attack, but also what was the most common tool that the hacker used to conduct this attack, and in this case it's Wireshark. On the other side we have the Sankey, which shows a continuous path from the attack type to what the attacker was trying to achieve and the resulting impact. So if we highlight ransomware, we see that the attacker was trying to deploy ransomware using the ransomware attack, and it leads to some of the most expensive attacks. So it shows you a clear flow. Lastly, we have the impact and recovery, which is our bubble chart. So this bubble scatter plot, it asks a very simple question. So when a cyber attack goes public, what happens to the company's stock and how long does it take to recover? So every bubble that you see here is an industry. The further right it is, the longer the recovery. The lower it sits on the graph, the worse the market reaction. The bigger the bubble is, the larger the average financial loss is. What jumps out immediately here is that not all industries are equally exposed. Some sectors don't even flinch. They have a very small drop and they bounce back fast. Others get hit hard and they stay down for days. So you can hover over any bubble to see what industry it is, and you can map it to the NAICS code over here,